Hey there, beautiful soul. Yes, I'm talking to you right now, wherever you are. Whether you're driving, relaxing at home, or just taking a moment to breathe, this is no ordinary moment. God has an urgent, life-changing message for you today, and it's going to touch your heart in ways you never imagined. So settle in, maybe grab a coffee or some water, and let's go on this journey together. This is about hope, love, and the incredible truth that God is with you every single step of the way. By the end of this, you're going to feel uplifted, inspired, and ready to take on whatever life throws at you. And trust me, you'll want to stick around with our God's Hope Today family. So let's dive in. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever felt like life's just heavy? Like you're carrying a backpack full of worries, and no matter how hard you try, it just keeps getting heavier. Maybe it's stress from work, tension in your relationships, or just that nagging feeling that you're not where you're supposed to be. We've all been there, haven't we? The good news, the amazing, heart-lifting news, is that God sees you right where you are. He knows every struggle, every tear, every quiet moment when you've wondered, am I alone in this? And His message today is loud and clear. You are never alone. God's right there, walking beside you, ready to lift that load and guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Imagine this for a second. You're walking down a foggy path, and you can't see more than a step ahead. It's scary, right? But then you realize there's someone beside you, someone who knows the way, someone who's saying, don't worry, I've got you. Just keep walking. That's God in your life. He's not just watching from a distance. He's right there, holding your hand, promising to stay with you no matter how thick the fog gets. That's the kind of love we're talking about today. A love that doesn't quit, doesn't fade, and doesn't leave you behind. Now, let's get real for a moment. Life in 2025 can feel like a whirlwind. Between the news, the bills, the endless notifications on your phone, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Maybe you're a single mom in Chicago juggling 2 jobs, or a student in Texas stressing about exams. Or maybe you're just someone who's been through a tough year and you're wondering, God, where are you? Here's the truth. God's message is for you, no matter who you are or what you're facing. He's saying, I see your heart, I know your struggles, and I'm here to carry you through. Let's talk about what that looks like in real life. Because God's presence isn't just a nice idea. It's practical, it's powerful, and it changes everything. Think about the last time you felt truly at peace. Maybe it was a quiet morning with a sunrise, or a moment when you laughed with a friend, or even just a second when you felt like everything was going to be okay. That's God's love touching your life. And His message today is to lean into that love, to trust that He's with you, even when life feels chaotic. Let me share a story to bring this home. There was a woman named Lisa from Florida. Lisa was at her breaking point a few years ago. Her marriage was falling apart, her kids were struggling, and she'd lost her job during a tough season. She felt like she was drowning. One day, she was scrolling online feeling hopeless when she came across a video about God's constant presence. Something in that message clicked. She started praying, not big fancy prayers, just simple ones like, God, I need you. Show me the way. Over time, things began to shift. She found a new job that she loved. Her marriage started healing through counseling, and her kids found their footing. Lisa's life didn't change overnight, but it changed because she trusted that God was with her, step by step. That same hope is available to you right now. So what's God's urgent message for you today? It's this: you are loved, you are enough, and God is with you every single moment. But it's more than just words. It's an invitation. God's saying, come closer, trust me, let me show you what's possible. Maybe you've been holding back, afraid to hope, afraid to dream, afraid to believe that things can get better. God's telling you, now's the time. Take that step. I'm right here. Let's break this down into some practical steps. Because I know you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great. But how do I actually live this out? First, start with a moment of stillness. In our busy world, we rarely pause. But God often speaks in the quiet. So today, carve out 5 minutes, yes, just 5 minutes, to sit quietly and say, God, I'm here. Speak to me. You don't need the perfect words. Just open your heart. You might be amazed at the peace that comes, or the ideas that spark, or the sense of direction you feel. Second, let go of what's weighing you down. Maybe it's resentment from a past hurt, or fear about the future, or even guilt about something you've done. God's saying, give it to me, let it go. Picture yourself handing over that burden, like dropping a heavy stone into a river and watching it sink away. God's love is big enough to handle it all, and He wants you to walk lighter. Third, take a step of faith. Maybe there's something you've been putting off, a conversation you need to have, a goal you've buried, or a dream you've been too scared to chase. God's saying, I'm with you, go for it. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. Maybe it's signing up for that class, calling a friend to reconnect, or just praying for courage. Whatever it is, trust that God's got your back. Let's pause for a second and talk about why this matters so much. Because here's the thing, life is short, and it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind. But God's calling you to something bigger. He's calling you to a life of purpose, joy, and connection. And that starts with knowing that you're never alone, that He's with you through every high and low. That's the kind of truth that changes everything. Now let's dive into another story, because stories have a way of sticking with us. Meet David, a firefighter from California. David's job was intense, and he'd seen things that left him haunted: fires, accidents, loss. He started to feel numb, like he was just going through the motions. One day, after a particularly tough call, he sat in his truck and broke down. He didn't know what to do, but he remembered his mom used to talk about God's love. So he prayed for the first time in years, just a simple, God, if you're there, help me. Over the next few weeks, he started noticing small changes. A co-worker invited him to a support group. He found a therapist who helped him process his trauma, and he started feeling a spark of hope again. David's still a firefighter, but now he carries a sense of peace, knowing God's with him in every fire, every rescue, every moment. What's the common thread in Lisa's story and David's story? They both took a step toward God, even when it felt hard. And that's what God's asking of you today. He's saying, I'm here, reach out, let me show you what's possible. Maybe your step is praying for the first time. Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you. Maybe it's chasing a dream you've buried. Whatever it is, God's promising to be with you every step of the way. Now, let's talk about something. We don't always think about sharing this love with others, because God's message isn't just for you, it's for the people around you too. Think about someone in your life who's struggling. Maybe it's a co-worker who's stressed, a friend who's grieving, or a family member who's lost hope. You have the power to shine a light in their life. Maybe it's as simple as saying, hey, I'm praying for you, or sharing this video with them. Imagine the impact if every one of us spread a little more hope, a little more love. That's how we change the world, one heart at a time. And speaking of sharing, I want to invite you to join our God's Hope Today community. If this message is speaking to you, and I know it is, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because we're all about bringing you messages like this, week after week, to keep you inspired, grounded, and connected to God's love. When you subscribe, you're saying, I want more of this hope in my life, and you're joining a family of people who are on this journey together. So don't wait, subscribe right now, and let's keep this fire burning. Let's take a moment to reflect. Think about where you are in your life right now. What's the biggest challenge you're facing? Maybe it's financial stress, or a health issue, or just a sense of being stuck. Now hear this, God's with you in that challenge. He's not promising that life will always be easy, but He's promising to be your strength, your guide, your peace. So take a deep breath and say to yourself, God's got me, I'm not alone. Let that truth sink in. It's a game changer. Now let's talk about dreams for a minute, because God's not just about helping you survive, He's about helping you thrive. What's a dream you've been holding on to? Maybe it's starting a business, writing a book, or just finding more joy in your daily life. God's saying, don't give up on that dream. I'm with you, and I've put that desire in your heart for a reason. Let me tell you about Maria, a teacher from New York. Maria always wanted to start a community garden, but she kept putting it off. Too busy, too tired, too many excuses. One day, she heard a message like this and felt a nudge to take action. She started small, just a few planters in her backyard. Over time, that grew into a full-blown community project that brought her neighborhood together. Maria's dream came to life because she trusted that God was with her. What's your dream? What's that first step you can take today? As we keep going, let's talk about the power of gratitude, because even in the toughest seasons, there's always something to be thankful. As we keep going, let's talk about the power of gratitude, because even in the toughest seasons, there's always something to be thankful for. Maybe it's the sunrise you saw this morning, or the friend who texted you just when you needed it, or even the fact that you're here listening to this message. Gratitude shifts our perspective. It reminds us that God's at work, even in the small things. So right now, think of 3 things you're grateful for. Go ahead, I'll wait. Got them? Awesome. Hold on to that feeling, because that's God's love shining through. Now let's address something we all face, doubt. There are moments when we wonder, is God really there? Does He really care? It's okay to have those questions. They're part of being human. But here's what God's saying. I'm still here even in your doubt. Think about a time when you felt God's presence, even if it was subtle, a moment of peace, a kind gesture, a sudden sense of hope. That's God reminding you that He's never left your side. So when doubt creeps in, go back to those moments. They're like anchors for your faith. Let's keep the stories coming because they're so powerful. Meet Sarah, a college student from Georgia. Sarah was struggling with anxiety, especially about her future. She didn't know what career to pursue, and the pressure was overwhelming. One night, she prayed, God, just give me a sign. Next day, she overheard a conversation about a mentorship program that aligned perfectly with her interests. She applied, got accepted, and found her passion for graphic design. Sarah's anxiety didn't disappear overnight, but she found peace knowing God was guiding her step by step. Your sign might be coming too. Just keep your heart open. Now let's talk about forgiveness, because this is a big one. Holding onto anger or hurt is like carrying a heavy chain. It weighs you down, doesn't it? God's saying, let it go. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Maybe there's someone you need to forgive. A friend who betrayed you, a family member who let you down, or even yourself for past mistakes. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It means trusting God to heal your heart and make things right. Take a moment right now and think about who you need to forgive. Picture yourself letting go of that pain, handing it to God. Feel that freedom? That's His love at work. As we move forward, let's talk about community, because God didn't create us to do life alone. We need each other, friends, family, mentors, and yes, even online communities like God's Hope Today. When you subscribe to our channel, you're not just getting videos, you're joining a family that's all about lifting each other up. We share stories, prayers, and messages to keep you grounded in faith. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join us. It's free, it's easy, and it's a way to say, I'm ready for more hope in my life. Do it now, and let's grow this community together. Let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. Why does God's presence matter so much? Because it's the foundation for everything else. When you know God's with you, you can face anything: fear, failure, uncertainty, you can chase your dreams, love boldly, and live with purpose. That's what God's calling you to today, a life that's full, vibrant, and connected to His love. Now, let's talk about prayer, because this is where the magic happens. Prayer isn't about fancy words or perfect timing. It's about opening your heart to God. You can pray anywhere, anytime, in the car, in the shower, in the middle of a tough day. Just say, "God, I need you, guide me," and then listen. Sometimes God speaks through a feeling, a thought, or even a person who crosses your path. So let's do it right now. Take a deep breath and say this with me. God, I'm here. Fill me with your love. Show me the way. Feel that? That's God meeting you right where you are. Let's wrap up with one final story, because this one's going to stick with you. Meet Tom, a mechanic from Ohio. Tom had a rough childhood, and he carried a lot of anger. He didn't believe in God, thought it was all a fairy tale. But one day his daughter got sick, and he was terrified. In desperation, he prayed, "If you're real, help my daughter." She recovered, and Tom couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was at work. He started exploring faith, watching videos like this, and slowly his heart softened. Today, Tom's a man of faith, and he's teaching his daughter about God's love. Tom's story shows that it's never too late to find hope, never too late to know that God's with you. So, here's the bottom line. God's urgent message for you today is that you are loved, you are seen, and you are never alone. He's with you through every storm, every victory, every moment. But this isn't just a one-time message, it's a way of life. That's why I'm inviting you, one last time, to subscribe to God's Hope today. When you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, you're saying, "I want to keep hearing these messages. I want to keep growing in faith." We're here to bring you hope, inspiration, and practical wisdom every single week. So do it now. Subscribe, share this video with someone who needs it, and let's build this community of hope together. Before we go, let's end with a moment of gratitude. Think about one thing you're thankful for today. Maybe it's your family, your health, or just the fact that you're here listening to this message. Hold on to that gratitude, because it's a reminder that God's at work in your life. And then say a final prayer with me. God, thank you for your love. Thank you for being with me. Guide me, strengthen me, and show me your purpose for my life. Amen. Thank you for spending this time with me, for opening your heart, and for letting God's message sink in. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a moment that could change everything. So, subscribe, share, and let's keep this journey going. May God's love fill your heart today and always. Stay blessed, stay strong, and know that you're never, ever alone. I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Let's do this.